It's the 3rd episode of Chronic Konversations with your girl, Mary Jane.
And your girl, Talissa.
And Gabby G. This is going to be a dope episode. I'm glad y'all tuned in.
Yes, so we got a special guest in the building,
Yes.
and you might know him from his clothing line. You might have got a car from him, or he might have saved your credit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But our special guest is Waco own Bowtie Trey.
Yeah, Trey
Is it-
Bowtie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it Bowtie Trey? Is it Trey Bowtie? What is it?
It's always the Trey first. And you got to
Trey.
make sure you put that last name in there because, yeah, that's what I do this for. The last name.
The
for the
The first
Bowtie.
name don't really matter.
No, it's the last name.
McDade. McDade is my
McDade.
last name. So
Gabby
remember that.
wanted to know something about the bow tie.
Yeah, so the bow ties. How many do you own and where did you get, bow tie? Where did,
That must mean you have a lot.
I got a lot of them.
You
I
got a
got a
lot
lot. Yeah. And why did I start wearing bow ties? Because I don't know. Most people can't tie a bow tie. It's a
Really?
conversation piece.
it really is. 'Cause usually
That's true.
you see ties. Just,
Yeah, regular standard
Clip-ons.
necktie.
Yeah.
No, these ain't
Clip-ons.
clip-ons. So you gonna make me
Okay.
to look.
Oh, okay.
Look,
So
look.
show us.
We gonna, yeah, we gonna do this real live on camera, y'all. Let me unbutton
Okay.
this button. I
Yeah,
just
got
gotta work.
tutorial.
Okay,
Yeah,
here we go.
but yeah, real thing. Are we doing it?
Yeah, let's
No.
do it.
Yes, go
Let's do
ahead.
it.
Okay,
Step
so
one.
so I'm gonna talk while I do this. Okay, so the reason I started wearing a bow tie is because most people can't tie a bow tie,
Right.
and once I figured out how to do it, people would always ask, "Man, is that a clip-on?" No, this is not an Easter Sunday little suit that you used to buy your kid on the
So you
hanger.
took pride in knowing.
Yeah, I
how
took
to
pride
put-
in
It's a
knowing and
talent.
teaching, and different things like that. So as I learned, I started collecting bow ties. I still have regular neckties, but they get snow play.
No
Yeah.
play.
They get snow play. So
They're played out.
It has to be a special occasion where you say, "Hey, no bow ties."
Right.
But in addition to that, our culture as a black man, our culture seems to have bow tie seems to have a place in our culture. It just does. A lot of Muslims, even though I'm not a Muslim, they wear bow ties.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
very classy.
It really is. And
Thank
it's
you.
a talent. Because,
You
okay.
did
I
it
don't know.
without being
I
in the
can't-
mirror.
Ain't no
and
mirror
everything.
nothing.
Look,
Right.
no mirror, and it looks good.
And it
looks
looks
perfect.
good. Okay.
Are we back, camera? Are we back?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, I don't know. It just became a thing ever since I've had a job to where I had to dress up. I always would rather have a bow tie because at first I was in restaurant business. So I was a restaurant manager for about 13 years, and when I'm taking a plate away from a table, if you have a regular long necktie, you might dunk your
Sauce.
tie in the drink or something like that, or beer or something like that, or get ketchup on your tie.
Right.
So that kept it out of the way. So now that I'm in the cars, the wind, I'm always in and out, in and
Okay.
out. The wind, blow a regular tie over your shoulder. So this one right here, it always stays put. It's always clean, crisp, and you don't have to mess
Nice,
with it all
nice.
day.
So how many do you own?
I don't know. That's a question for my wife.
Okay,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah, if you want me
Wow.
to count, I'll count when I get to the
Are
house
you
tonight.
still
But it's
accepting more?
over 100.
Right.
Oh yeah, for
No,
sure.
speaking of your wife, I saw you have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
daughters and it was real beautiful. I looked at some pictures. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he has a really nice family.
Yes.
Yeah, they are a headache. That's
Are
why I don't
they?
have no hair, but I love all my family. I mean, you want the truth, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I love my kids. I love my family. We've been through a lot together. I would not trade them for the world, for sure.
Awesome.
I love being a dad,
Aw,
for sure.
Well, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
Oh, thank you.
Day.
See, that
Yes.
means a lot, girl. We gonna talk about that too.
Father's Day.
Father's Day, man. Y'all
got
be
any
doing
plans?
us dirty, huh?
You got any
Y'all be
plans?
doing
The world, the
world
does
does
Father's
You know
Day.
what I noticed? Like this year, I noticed this. Father's Day is in the summertime, so like you don't have to be at school making all the Father's Day
Oh
gifts.
no, like you do for Mother's Day. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's kind of wrong.
So you might not.
They're
you know,
robbed of their little plants and the little
Right?
pictures
You know,
for
they
Father's
come home
Day.
with
The
the everything
handprints.
for
I never thought of
moms.
that.
Construction paper, you know what I'm saying? We want a construction paper card every once in a while.
Y'all hear that, ladies? Get them kids
Yeah, and then
with some crafts.
this is the
crayons
biggest
out.
thing. Where is our jewelry commercial?
Oh, yeah.
Every Mother's Day they want you to buy a
Yeah.
diamond, and we get socks.
Yeah, underwear.
You,
Come on,
you,
now,
you
even
may
it
get a bow
out.
tie.
Even it out. Even it out.
I think I'm
might
gonna get my husband a bow tie.
Look, okay,
That's what we
so
should do,
with
right?
my name being bow tie, y'all, I kinda expect a bow tie from
Okay.
everybody. Okay, I'm not saying I don't want one.
Yeah.
But it's
I'm not saying that
expected.
the one you giving me I ain't already got either.
That's funny.
No, for real. So what you're from Waco. How was growing up in Waco for you?
Growing up, I love Waco. I'll never turn my back on Waco. This is literally my city.
Right.
A lot of people ask why I hadn't moved away from Waco, and it's because I like Waco. Waco is a great place to grow up if you're growing up in the right area, but if you're not even growing up in the right area, you can learn a lot from growing up in the wrong area, the slums, the hood. You know what I'm saying? We all been there. You know, I wish I had a little photo book on me, but North 9th Street, Parkside. When I was sitting on the porch, that's my favorite photo of myself.
No, I'm
You know what I'm saying? So I was born and raised in the north side, but in the summer times I'll visit my dad, and he lived on Hood Street in Trentwood, so that's where I would be in the summertime over there with my daddy. So you can't miss me with none of that stuff. And the crazy part is that when people see me dressed like this, that I know from my childhood, they be like, "Oh, that's Trey," and then they walk up and they regularly have a conversation. But some of their kids have no idea who I am.
Right.
So with me being 40 now, I'm seeing some of my classmates' kids grow up to be adults, and they never even met me before. And they like, "Man, who is this lame dude?" You know what I'm saying? Dressed up, all nerdy, like Steve Urkel. And they have no idea.
Or they're probably like, my dad said he knows you. Look.
Yeah, I'm like, how you know my daddy? My daddy been locked up. Man, I've been knowing your daddy, man.
I could have been right there with you, man.
Yeah, we've been right in the mix
for sure.
together
awesome.
for sure. But Waco itself, man, like I said, I never turn my back on the city. It's, to tell you the truth, it's actually an easy place to live if you can keep yourself out of mess. And I know it's hard.
Right.
It's hard to stay out of mess, but it's actually a pretty peaceful place to live if you can keep yourself out of mess. And cost of living is the main reason that I moved back to Waco. I actually moved away from 2000 to 2004. I moved away. I lived in Frisco, which is north of Dallas. Yeah. And I loved it there. It was cool. But that was back in 2000. I was paying $1,700 a month for rent on an apartment.
Wow.
You know, and even right now, I'm still I hadn't reached that again. And so my thing is I can always visit anywhere I want to go, but
this is home.
Yeah, this is home. This is
And
where
that's
mama,
good to
this
hear.
is where grandma at, this is where everybody is at. So I'm gonna find myself back in Waco all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Anyway,
that's good to hear, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Waco, you got to get away from here." And it's like, no, this is where we were born and raised. Like, you
it's what
can
you
come
make it.
up.
It's what you make it.
The older I get, the more I realize how easy it is to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
The older that I get. Yeah.
You just gotta keep yourself from around certain type of people. And you know, some of the times that means getting away from some of the people you might be growing up with, or might be your best friends growing up, because you know what they doing. Once you and that person talk, and you know that they're not gonna ever get right.
It's not gonna click.
You gotta distance yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you don't love them. It just means that y'all ain't on the same wavelength. Y'all don't have the same goals. And I'm
Some
trying
people
to teach
say
some
I outgrew them, right? But I feel like I outgrew myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
so I'm not the same person that
exactly
I was when we were kicking it, doing probably nothing way back then.
Yeah, you didn't outgrow them. You just grew.
Yeah.
Right.
Most definitely.
And they stayed the same.
Right.
You know, staying the same is good too, to a certain extent, but you can't be out. You just can't be out here doing what you was doing when you were 20. When you turned 35 and 40.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
It's not the
I ain't
same.
gonna tell my age.
35, 45, somewhere in between.
You're also known for a couple of other things.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know you have a clothing. So I want to talk about that. Psalms 18:12. I see that.
18.2.
18:2. Sorry, 18:2.
So the covered clothing brand was actually I started doing clothes a while back. It actually started with before even Positive Money. Me and my best friend Jeremy Williams, we were doing something under Foot Soldiers. So what Foot Soldiers is that when everybody was buying the knockoff shoes, don't act like you wasn't buying none. When everybody was buying the knockoff shoes back in the day, 98, all that. Well, me and him created a company called Foot Soldiers. Okay, so we used to have the T-shirts to go with the shoes. So it started there. I was always a drawer and stuff like that, designer. So We created shirts for that. Then Positive Money came along, and we had been doing Positive Money for a long, long time. That's actually a Positive Money shirt right there. That was actually one of the reasons. That shirt that Mary Jane is wearing right there is one of the reasons Covered was created. That and my wife, because I was trying to. So there's a positive message, and then there's a spiritual message. Right. Okay. Sometimes those messages can't go together. You know what I'm saying? So people at church might be mad because that thing said money at the bottom, and they feel like, oh, church, that's all they about is money. I told you, you know. And then people in the streets is like, man, I'm not down with the, you know, I'm not down with the king. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not down with the spiritual thing. I ain't there yet. So I don't want to say wear a shirt to say something about God. So those things had to be separated. But at the same time, Positive Money is always done well. It always has in Waco. When we brought Boosie to Coliseum, it was great. It didn't sell out, but it was great.
It was great.
And then just any other thing we've ever done is been great. You know, people have followed it and different things like that. But the message behind it, the clothing and stuff like that, people would never wear it because I guess it's because it's a positive message. People like negative things.
Yes.
Negative things move faster.
Positivity definitely don't sit right with negative souls for sure.
It really don't. It really don't. So it don't pop as fast. So my thing was to bring that hip hop culture, the swag, the drip, with a positive message.
Right.
You know, that way, you can't say, oh, that ain't clean, because it's definitely clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your mama not gonna trip when you walk in the house. You're gonna be like, baby, I like that. Can I get one?
Right.
You know? So our thing was we were wanting to grow that part of our community, man, telling people you don't have to sell drugs to get money. You don't have to sell your body to get money. You don't have to sell your soul to get money. There's money out here. There's actually more ways to make money in a positive way than there is negative. And one of the main things I tell people is that you're really not a hustler. If you think about it, you're not a hustler if you only know how to get money one way, and that's the streets. The streets is the only way you know how to get money. I'm sorry, you're not a real hustler.
Right.
Because that one way is going to eventually run out, and then when the laws get you or whatever happened, I'm going to still get to keep mine, and they're going to take yours.
Yes.
Right.
You ain't
Nothing
gonna be
to
able
fall
to
back on.
You ain't got nothing to fall back on. You can't give it to your kids because they done took it all, or whatever you didn't hide at your mama's house or whatever. You know, so.
Whatever you didn't hide.
But so with that being said, that the clothing part of that really wasn't taking off as much as we would like it to have.
On the Positive Money side.
On the Positive Money side.
So then y'all created Covered.
So my wife was like, y'all just need to give it to God. Y'all need to get that to God. Because we would order, you know, hundreds of shirts, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if I got to end up discounting them all just to get my money back or something like that, that means whatever we were doing wasn't working at that time. Right. That's not saying that it wasn't a good idea or a good message. It's just it wasn't working at that time. So my wife said, we need to give it to God. So me and her came up with Covered together. This is actually her idea.
Awesome.
So I take my artistic abilities with some of her ideas and some of my daughter's artistic abilities, and we came up with Covered, and now we trying to drip the church.
Oh, okay.
We trying to drip the church out. We're trying to get more men to praying with their families. We're trying to basically bring that hip hop culture, because I'm all about hip hop. I used to rap and all that stuff too. So we trying to bring that culture.
We'll get to that.
A rapper or a preacher?
Rapper or a preacher.
And that's kind of really the same thing, right?
Yeah, it really is.
If you listen to the right,
a message.
if you listen to the right rapper,
Hey, it all sends a message. It all sends a message, either good or bad.
yeah, and then the crowd's gonna let them know when they doing good, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The rapper and the preacher.
They sure will. They sure will.
So, so we gave it to God, and that's how we came up with Covered. So Covered was started February 2020. So it ain't even been working that long.
2 years.
Covered?
Okay.
Exactly. Not even 2 years.
Oh, a year. A year and a couple months. 2020.
See, look.
Oh, I like
And that's
that.
I love their reaction, because
rocking
people
it.
be like, hey, that's only been going a year. That's only been going a year. And we already got a full website, even though it's not the most 100% clean, crisp website
it's
like we
nice.
want it to be.
I like that
It's a nice
tie-dye.
website. There's plenty of shirts. There's plenty of stuff to choose from. And I always wanted to get into different garments. I'm tired of just selling a t-shirt. I don't want to just sell T-shirts. I want to be able to sell a T-shirt, hoodie,
set.
leggings,
Yeah.
drawers,
Set, yeah.
socks, hats,
Everything.
whatever you want. You know, little things for your cup holders, tumblers, all of that stuff is merchandise, and it's stuff that can push a message. Shout out Rogue Media
Rogue
for the
Media,
cover.
yeah, shout out.
So, your scripture you have on there. Why that scripture?
So look, I'm a realist, okay? I'm never gonna take credit for anything somebody else came up with, okay? My wife brought that scripture to me, and then we read it together, okay? So now I know I'm covered by the love, the grace, and the mercy, regardless
Amen.
of whatever can ever happen in my life. I'm always gonna be covered. So people like, oh man, you don't be afraid to chase your dream because you're covered. Don't be afraid to step out on a limb, man, or take a step into something that you've never done before because you're covered. You know, so this thing works with everybody, not just somebody who goes to church.
Right.
The word itself
Yeah.
is covered. My cousin, and I don't even know if he want me to say this, we got in a car accident a few weeks ago, and he was on life support. He almost died. He a young man. He work out every day. I'm talking about swole. But the Lord didn't want to take him that night.
He was
covered.
covered.
He was covered that night.
Yeah.
And he's still covered right now. So that's some of the stuff we need to think about. I want people to actually read that, go find the scripture, and want to know more.
Tell them what
Right.
scripture it is again.
Psalms 18:2. Okay?
18:2,
And I'm going to just show
18:2.
y'all this. This is a hoodie I bought for
That one.
Malcolm, EJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Psalms 18:2,
Aw,
you know, for the
That's
youngsters.
cute. They're gonna love
So
it.
y'all make sure y'all go check that out and check us out online at www.coveredclothing182.com for all the latest drip. Yeah.
So we have a segment, Tips with T, and we know that you also do.
Yeah.
TNT, we explosive.
Yes. So we know that you also do credit. Is it credit recovery and credit repair?
I don't personally do that.
Are you a part of that?
Yeah, I'm part of Positive Money. Positive
Okay.
Money does that.
So,
Yeah.
what tips would you have for anybody out there trying to be? Because to have financial freedom, you have to have a good sense of credit.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna just go all the way back to the beginning because y'all are more like me. Okay.
Okay.
My parents didn't teach me about credit when I was growing
At
up.
all.
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? When I turned 18, I was basically thrown out there and like, hey, figure it out.
Sink or
Right.
swim.
Yeah, figure it out. So my credit was horrible. By the time I turned 25, 30 years old, I'm talking low 400s.
Yeah.
And what made me focus on it, what made me get real about it is I'm not gonna borrow any money. Don't borrow anything that you can't pay back.
Right.
Simple
for
as
sure.
that.
Yeah.
That's what credit is about. Now, do you want to use your own money to fund your dream, or do you want to use the bank's money to fund your dream? I'd rather use the bank's money.
Both of them.
Yeah, it could be both of them. But hey, if I say I'll give you $30,000 today, and you can keep your $30,000 in your pocket,
I'll take it.
you'll take it,
Right.
right? Exactly. So most of the largest companies are basically run on credit.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. If you want to buy a car or a home, most people can't pay cash for their dream car, their dream home. You're gonna need some credit, regardless how much cash you make. You still gonna need some credit at some point in time.
So is your tip to teach your kids?
No,
or
my tip is to pay your bills.
Don't borrow if you can't pay back.
That's
Pay
my
your
tip.
bills.
Pay your bills.
That will mess your credit
Simple as
up.
that, and don't go overboard too early. Especially me being in the car business right now, I see people and they ready to jump into something that they can't afford really
Right.
quick.
Right.
You know, if you make $2,000 a month, that don't mean you need $1,000 car payment.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because your check
Simple
stub
math
says
does not make sense.
2000.
it don't make that much sense because you hadn't accounted for the gas, you hadn't accounted for feeding yourself.
Insurance.
You hadn't accounted for the insurance for the car. You just know that you want that car. It's your dream car, and you'll pay whatever it is to get it. That's the wrong
Right.
mentality to have.
Gonna be living out the car.
Yeah, eventually, right? Or no, but probably not. It's probably just gonna get repoed, and you're gonna be like, "Oh man, I don't do
Now you
that
can't
credit
get in the
thing."
car. Now you can't get in the car.
Yeah, so
Now you gonna cry in the car.
So most people I deal with, and that's one thing about me and my job right now is I actually help people build their credit from purchasing the right car.
Yeah.
Right.
Purchasing the right car might mean that you're not gonna get exactly what you want on the first try,
Right.
Right.
but you're gonna get something to build
That
your
you can
credit. That
afford
way,
to.
couple years down the line, you built your credit. Now you got your dream car for the same low monthly payment.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I drive a nice car. I always have driven a nice car because my credit is strong enough to where I don't have to put myself in too much debt every month in order to afford that car.
Right.
'Cause you know, so I'll put it to you like this. Banks are built on interest rate. Interest rates come upon risk. So it's the same thing. You buying a car, you buying a house, you financing anything, you getting the money from the bank.
Right.
The bank is going to look at you. They're going to say, okay, well, Mary Jane,
Yeah.
the most money you have ever...
You ain't got no license.
Oh, we can get to that too, because I've been one of them people too. So I never hate on that, because I respect anybody that came from the struggle and climbed their way out.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the bank look at everything like a risk. Okay, so they say, Mary Jane, you want to borrow $20,000? Okay, so we're gonna look at your report. Have you ever borrowed $20,000 before? Oh yeah, she did borrow. She borrowed $20,000 before. They gave her 15% interest. She paid them back, but she was late 17 times paying them back. Okay, so what did that do? Did that increase or decrease the risk of you getting another $20,000?
Increase.
It increased the risk, so that means that we're gonna increase the rate, unless Mary Jane only needs $12,000 this time.
Right.
Then we might give her a better rate. So that's where down payments and all that stuff come in, is because it's really just based upon risk. So if I come in and I want $80,000 truck, and I've never financed anything over $20,000, regardless of my credit score, the risk is way high for the bank, because we don't have anything on paper to say that you can pay $400 a month or $500 or $600 or even $1,000 a month. So why would I give you $80,000?
Right.
Just think of it if it was your money. If it was your money, your family member, right? And they want to borrow, right? Say, oh, Mama, I'm good for it. I'm your daughter, Mama. I'm your son. Mama, can I borrow $300? Well, son, last time you borrowed $300 from me, it took me 3 years to get my $300 back. So no, I'll let you get $100, but you're gonna bring me back $300. Okay, that's kind of how the bank works.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly
So
how the
the
bank.
tip is to pay your bills and pay them on time.
Pay your bills on time is the easiest way to build your credit, and don't jump too far into debt too quick. Don't get some high expensive thing that you know you can't afford, that you know you're gonna struggle with. If you know you're on the edge of, hey, I might be able to pay that, I might not be able to pay that, that means you're not gonna be able to pay that.
Not for you.
So
It's not for you.
Yeah.
If
and
you look up like, okay, you had to think just a split second too long. So
And if you want to trick the system, just say, for instance, you had been through something early in your life, but you don't want to work your way up. You don't want to walk the ladder. I remember I talked to this kid, and I told him, I say, man, you got to crawl before you walk. You're not going to be able to buy a Challenger right now in your first car.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I ain't doing no crawling. I'm walking. I want straight Challenger. I was like, okay, I understand, but the interest rate is going to be so high that when you buy this car,
You're gonna
be in this thing a while.
Yeah.
And people going to ask you what the payment is going to be astronomical. That's okay. I just want that car. Okay, well, payment $800. Okay, so come back to it. Another person with an established credit walk right in the door, and they payment on the same exact car is $300. They'd be like, how? Well, how my friend? Don't tell me what your friend got. Your friend's situation is totally different.
Yeah.
Your friend
You're not
took
your
care of
friend.
it. Exactly. So call your mama. Call somebody who might have a stronger credit. And this is the hardest thing, with people of our culture to get them to understand, is that why they can't get what they want when they want. It has nothing to do with, they ain't trying to help me. I'm definitely trying to help you.
Right.
I want you to get everything you want, but I want you to get it the right way so you can keep it.
Right.
Versus just getting it and driving for a few weeks and then.
We coming to get it.
Tax season.
So where can
No, I
I
ain't
come
coming
to
to
you?
get it. So I'm just letting you know, I'm not. The bank gonna come get it.
gonna come and get it.
Because that's their money that they loaned out on that particular car or home or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so since we're on this topic, not really. So you work for Alan Samuels,
Yeah.
and that was a big. Let's get a little deep right here.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That was a little big big topic not too long ago when the Baylor had won their championship. Who is he? Is he Ted? Is he the manager? Is he the
He's
owner?
a general manager.
He's a general manager.
Yep.
Okay, and let's talk about what happened. So.
I mean, what do you want me to say? You know what happened,
right? So where were you when you saw the video? What
I was
your
actually at
first
work.
reaction?
You at work.
Everybody was at the parade, and I was at work because I'm one of the top earners, hard workers. So I was actually at work while most of the people was at the parade. And what was my reaction?
What happened? Like, how did you see it? How did you see it first? Facebook?
One of the customers Facebook inboxed me the video. So I'm just like you. I'm sitting right here with customers. They try to I'm trying to sell them a car, and then I get that ding. And I look at that, and then I just laughed because it was like, well, I know. So
I know you didn't say that.
I know. So I was like, oh man, it's gonna turn into something later, and I went on with my day.
Right.
Not know it was gonna turn into what it was gonna turn into. But me knowing the guy, I mean, hey, I ain't never got no racist vibes from him. Right. So I just think
misspoke.
Yeah, well, the thing is that,
what that was,
I think all of us at times might need a cultural appropriation class because there's some things that Hispanics might be able to say around Hispanics or to each other that a black man can't say to a Hispanic.
Right.
Or a white man can say to a white man that a black man can't say to a white man. It's the same thing with black people to black people versus white people to black people. Right. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I can say you, hey man, we from the hood. You know what I'm saying? We grew up together. I can say that. There's certain things he just can't say that.
Yeah. Right.
So there's cultural appropriation that needs to happen. If I thought Ted was that type of guy, I would not be working for Alan Sanders. I would have never even started working for Alan Sanders. But I never got that vibe from him. Him and his wife have always been great people to me and my family. They always invite us to dinner, and we always have a lot of fun together. And even when after a few beers or something like that, he's not that type of guy. But so he was just having too much fun that day. As simple
you
as that.
could tell he was having too much fun.
Having too much
He
fun.
was excited though, and I just feel like it slipped because I think it just came out.
Set me up, Mary Jane.
There's a better way to say it without saying it that way.
I think he delivered his message wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely wrong.
No, I think he meant well. It's just how he's like what he said exactly. You know, like to recruit.
Yeah, like I can't believe.
But think about it. Okay, this man is been a car salesman or in the car business for 40 years. He don't know nothing about recruiting basketball players and stuff like that.
No.
He just know that's what he hear people talk about. You know what I'm saying? Hey, all the best players come from where?
And from
where all the best players come from?
I
mean, I know if I'm building a basketball team, I know where I'm going. But I coached for 13 years, and I know who the best basketball players in Waco, Texas are right
Runners
now.
And all
they
that.
ain't in the suburbs.
Right.
Yeah, simple as that. But I can say that. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
so
he can't. Yeah.
We as people, we can't really harp on that and beat him up so bad about that. But then when something goes down in our neighborhood, we ain't standing up.
Right.
The 17-year-old got killed a couple weeks ago. Where the guy at? Ain't nobody said nothing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Use that same enthusiasm, all them riders and. Hey, I need all y'all speak up, stand up. Come on, man. We need to protect ourselves. We ain't worried about that. That's going to happen.
He was a good
That's somebody
athlete.
talking. That's somebody said something, okay? But this is actually stuff that's happening.
Right.
Stuff that's really going down
community.
and actually hurting us. So when we going to step up against that? Or we just worried about somebody talking and what they said on TV?
And picking and choosing on what.
Yeah, we can't pick our battles. We got to fight them all.
Right.
Let's fight them all. I'm in it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was told, you have to kind of pick and choose because you can't make everything a battle.
You can't.
Not everything or what's worth it. Is this one worth it? This one ain't worth it.
So was there a meeting y'all had or something that like when you went back to work the next day? Was it like oops?
Yeah, there was definitely a meeting. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the main thing was he wanted to make sure that
he felt bad, didn't he?
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that he talked to us because with that. And then another thing is that there is a lot of black salespeople working at Allen Sanders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I actually got promoted to management, but there's a lot of black
Was that
salespeople.
before or after the
It was
comment?
definitely after. But at the same time, it's cultural appropriation. That's why.
Right.
So that's why you need to have diversity in your management team.
Most
You need to have
definitely.
diversity in all levels at every job, no matter where you work. Just because there's certain situations that the job may need, and you might need a different person from a different ethnic background to go into that situation and speak. Yeah. I'm not saying that Ted wasn't the right person to speak at a Baylor event, but what I'm saying is that, what about when we do Juneteenth coming up Saturday?
Right.
Yeah.
Ted don't really need to be speaking at Juneteenth.
Right.
He
You know what
might
I'm saying?
should. No, I'm just kidding.
But he might should. And the thing is that they've actually been one of the biggest sponsors for everything in Waco for a long period of time.
I did hear his interview on the radio when Graham interviewed him on 94.5 just to explain his side, and I could tell like he's not a bad person.
That man was hurt, man.
Yeah,
He was very
you can see.
sympathetic.
I feel bad for him just because like you can hear it in his voice like how disappointed in himself, I guess you could say. Like it was cute though. I'm glad he did the interview.
So you got to think about it like this: his wife is actually dean of law at Baylor too.
Okay.
So not only did he disappoint his job, but he disappointed his household as well. So he got to deal with it from both sides. So it's feel like at some point in time, it's time to pick a man up. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what type of mistakes they had made, you don't want anybody to have to deal with that for too long, and that's just kind of the person I am.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just continue to, you know what I'm saying, because there's already enough people do it. There's 300,000 people that want to write a comment about him. So what would I look like being another person that just hop in and be like, oh man, you should have did this.
Yeah, I definitely didn't entertain it. I was like, what do y'all mean? Take the car. We are, we do go hard for Baylor, like. And we support Baylor as Waco. That's Waco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From the hood to the suburbs, like we are Waco. So why leave or why, feel offended? I understand why people feel offended, but I also
You know what I think he should do?
What?
I think he should give a car to someone from the hood once every year.
Oh God!
So we all be riding.
Once a year, a whole car.
It can be used.
Not a seat cushion, not a headrest, a whole car.
Oh, not a covered wheel. We need a whole car. 4 wheels. A motor.
And what, they supposed to keep the car forever?
One.
Giveaway, or is it a loaner?
Yeah.
Talk to me. Is it a loaner car? Are they keeping it forever?
No,
they can keep it
forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
A whole car.
There's like single moms. There's like single moms with no
Or
car.
single dads.
There's no,
Hey, you guys are right.
You
But
know,
at the
like-
same time, what did I tell you his position was?
Oh, he's a
general manager.
General manager, right?
Oh, okay.
Right.
His name's not Alan Samuels.
Yeah.
True.
I've met him,
Alan
though,
Samuels,
by the
God
way.
rest his soul, died last year.
Uh-huh.
Before all of this even ever happened.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
to meet him and his wife before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rented
great
an
people.
apartment to their son that was
Yeah.
in law school.
Aw.
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
work for Alan Samuels back in the day.
Doing what?
Really?
Answering phones. And in
wanna
the
come
file
back?
room. I do not. I am a business owner now.
That's all right. I am too.
Okay, on a lighter note. Let's
Oh, thank you.
That was deep.
Y'all trying to get
Back to
Let's
No,
get
so
dope.
let's pick it back up. We got Sexy 60, so that's just something I do, and I talk about something that I think that I find sexy. So, but we're gonna give it to you since you're our special guest. Give us something like in 60 seconds that you think that is sexy.
Anything.
Anything?
It doesn't matter what it is.
That's hard for me. I'm a grown man now, so it's different. You know what I'm saying? For me,
Sexy is different.
Sexy is
Grown and
different.
sexy.
It's different. It's different for me now. What I find sexy, just a woman who take care of business. You know what I'm saying? I find that sexy. You know what I'm saying? A woman who got her own grind. I find that sexy. It is. It always has been to me, just because of what I've been through.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like lips. I like lips.
Lips
I'm
and
a lips
women
guy.
that handle their business.
That's good because,
For
a
sure.
lot of guys can't take a woman that handles their business.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
happy
true.
the Lord blessed me with
true.
one. Finally.
You know what I mean?
Finally,
Handling
after
her
all
business.
these years.
It's there now.
I feel like for women, like a lot of women, they want a man who's financially stable, but they don't think about themselves being like that. You know what I mean? Like they worry about a man paying all the bills and you know, like it just doesn't work out like that all the time. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so
I don't
definitely
know,
having
it's
your own
2021.
grind, having your own grind is
That's
very
sexy.
essential.
And it's sexy.
It is.
Having your own grind is sexy, and it makes you feel better as a
Oh, yeah,
woman.
for sure.
All right, so artist of the week. What are you listening to at the moment? What do you
Oh,
jam in the car?
I'm J. Cole.
J.
Yeah.
Cole.
Oh, J. Cole.
All the time. Yeah. My favorite new artist is J. Cole. And if Kendrick drops something today, then I'll change because
Yeah,
Hey, J. Cole do be jamming.
I'm in the substance. I'm just in the substance.
I can see that.
No offense to anybody who's rapping right now.
Okay,
But
what's your favorite J. Cole song right
Ooh.
now?
right now,
Yeah.
Pride is the devil.
Hey, okay.
Pride
Jam,
is the
that
devil.
jams.
Hey, because that's real.
Yeah, I
And when
like
the first
my
time I
life.
heard that song, My Life is Good
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah, but that because it has that sample. So that I think that came from like Mos Def or somebody
Yeah.
like that. Or no, it was Talib Kweli. He's actually on the song too, right? Or
There's a
Moray.
bunch of
Moray.
sayings
Moray
right
singing
now.
that
Moray
part,
is-
but yeah, that got the old East Coast vibe. Back when I was in high school, they used to be like, "Man, where you from the East Coast or something like you listen to Jay-Z and
Oh, yeah.
man, I listen to Zero and Pokey and all that too, man. But I'm in the substance. I always have been. So if music with a message, you gonna hold me. I mean,
Right.
simple as that. And back when I was rapping, which is that wasn't that long ago, 15 years ago, whatever.
Who's counting?
Time just flying by. So I mean, that's just kind of the stuff I'm into. So
Right.
my local artists that I listen to, all have substance. I'm a big Timo fan. I'm a big Cam fan.
Yes.
Young Tink, one of my new man. I love
Okay,
Tink. Tink
yes.
going hard with it now. He did the Speak Lord. So I like Tink. Big Bakey's one of my teammates. So
Yes.
we actually used to play football together. As
That's
far as
good.
local artists, man,
You know that you know
there's
that
a
many
lot
local
of-
artists.
Oh, I need to know more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What you just named though, that's good.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
shows
and there's-
acknowledgement. You know what I mean, for sure.
For Waco alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but as far as my favorite local artist, yeah, I gotta go. I mean,
Go
and
ahead.
y'all probably don't even know KT, but KT Cool, he been that for a long time for Waco.
I know
for a long
KT
time.
Cool. He's the
No
he's-
place like home.
He's the older
baby.
cat.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no place like
My
home.
stepdad used to rap with him.
Who's your stepdad?
They call his name is Tommy the Great, but Honey Man.
Honey Man. Hold on, Honey Man is your stepdad?
Yeah.
Oh, girl. See, this is how I be talking when I'm like, meet somebody at the dealership, like, you know my daddy.
I know your daddy.
I know your daddy. Yeah, for sure.
That's how I know KT
Cool.
KT Cool.
Yep.
Right,
KT
right.
Cool.
But yeah, so there's a lot of artists. Even Script got some substance in his rap
Yeah.
sometimes. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm into now at this age because I want my kids in the car with me. If we gonna be listening to rap, I want to be able to make sure it's
Right.
so. And then I think a lot of the new music is they just going in. They say, I'm going to the studio. We gonna make something tonight.
I feel like we could.
Yeah,
We can make a song tonight.
Oh, I know I can.
but
I could drop a few bars.
But it ain't gonna, look, we ain't gonna sell as many records if we don't talk about something we actually went
Right.
through
True.
or what we going through today. You know what I'm saying? Music is a feeling. And so if I can't just come in here and just decide that I'm gonna make a song today.
Yeah.
But if I'm going through something today,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fire.
hey, I'm finna go get up in here and make a song
Right.
today. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So I think that's the part of the game
That's
that
missing.
everybody's missing, kind of.
Right.
But
Those
there's
songs
certain
where you
artists.
can rewind and say, "Let me hear that again." Did you hear what he
And
just
look,
said?
I like to listen to a whole album. I'm tired of these.
Beginning to end.
I'm tired of
J.
these
Cole, you can
mixtapes.
do
I'm
that.
tired of these only two songs on that one went hard. One on that album went hard.
Right.
You might as well should have just dropped a single.
Yeah.
If I can't play your whole album, I miss a whole album. I miss All Eyes on Me.
Right.
I miss stuff like that where I can just play the whole thing.
Mariah Carey.
So yeah, but we
For
didn't
me.
get favorite Mariah Carey.
For me, all of her albums.
Mariah
All
Carey
of
can
them.
blow.
All of
And
her
Monica
Blow.
too. I like Monica.
I do too.
Monica
and
Jam.
Monica Jam from
So
the
you
beginning to the end.
Oh, we talking about R&B? Girl,
Yeah.
you don't make me talk about R&B. I love R&B.
Me too.
But yeah, all 90s R&B, you just jam super hard. to me.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming. Can you give a plug on where to find you, where to get your clothing?
So
Where to
y'all
follow
can
you
follow me
at?
on Facebook at Trey Bowtie McDade. You can follow my clothing page at Cover Clothing 182. You can also go to our website, pick up any merch, www.coverclothing182.com. Follow me on Instagram at trademark, TREYDMARK. And we also have Cover Clothing 182 Instagram page. You can follow us on TikTok, Cover Clothing 182. Basically, all social media is Cover Clothing 182, trademark or Trey Bowtie McDade on basically most platforms.
Awesome.
So I'm there. And
Y'all
I'm
heard
always
it.
willing to talk. I ain't gonna never get too big for my city. I love y'all.
That's good.
That's
Thank you for
so
being
much
here,
for coming.
truly.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Definitely.
And also, shout out to Abby on the drip today. Barbara Abby.
Okay,
Yeah.
Barbara
Teeth
Abby.
whitening, yes. She got me today. So.
Okay. I need to go over there.
Yes, and shout out to
Yeah.
everybody reaching out to us to sponsor our show. We'll have some sponsors lined up soon. And if you're wanting to sponsor our show, just hit us up in the DMs, and we'll get you on our show. So shout out to y'all. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And thanks for supporting Chronic Conversations.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Stay
Peace.
prayed up.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.